Hello, everyone. Pray that you are doing well. I think I'm 2 minutes late. So I'm going to wait a minute, let everyone have a chance to come in who would like to. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I should get a theme music or something to go with this. So, hello and welcome to Sisters That Are Rising Star E Nights. The E stands for empowerment. So, our Star Empowerment Nights, where we take the time to engage you and encourage you as you are arising in the things of God. We just take a moment to encourage you and support you as you are on your journey to fulfilling the purpose that God has for you. So, hello and welcome on. This is your girl, Leader Nicole. I am the president and founder of Star Sisters That Are Rising, and I'm happy to be sharing with you all on tonight. Let me quickly just say thank you to everyone that participated in our E-Nights last month, in the month of June, where we hosted Pastor Matthew Blumenberg as he talked about the team and really went into depth as far as leadership and team members' responsibilities and roles, and as leaders, different things that we should look for and expect and be doing, and attitudes we should have, and mindsets and dispositions and all that kind of stuff that we should have as leaders, and also as team members, our responsibility and roles and what we should be accomplishing too. So thank God for him last month, and we really had a good time last month, because even with that, we added our Target gift cards. We were able to give away gift cards to our Sisters That Are Rising viewers, those who registered and participated, and we were able to be a blessing to their households. We did send those gift cards out, and I'm sure they will be a witness and testify that they got theirs. So we were glad and very excited about being able to, in some way, as you have given into Star and the things that we stand for, we wanted to give back into your households. So thank you for the opportunity to give to you, and thank you for participating in that effort. I just want to say my quick announcements here. We are looking forward to doing our next Vision to Manifestation session. You know, our first session dealt with the team, and we discussed the different roles that you may need on your team as you are fulfilling your ministry or your business. And so we're moving forward with session 2, which will begin on July 20th of this month. So it's just a couple of weeks away. And the topic for that will be dark places. We want to look into different areas that we often hide and keep secret, that are hindering us from moving forward and arising to the place that God has for us. Those things serve as chains and serve as weights. And so we want to lay those things aside. And so we're going to take time to address those and talk a little bit into those things, into those dark places. We'll be going that week, doing lives every night at 7. You will see your girl. We on that week, and also we will be finishing out that session with a live panel. I have some very capable first ladies and evangelists that will be on and sharing with us. So please look out for that flyer and look out for more information regarding that. If you do have an idea or a topic that you think will be most beneficial for this Dark Places session, I do encourage you to, when we'll provide the link, to go and to give us your suggestions or different or something that you may want some knowledge about, or how to deal with it, especially as it relates to a church setting. So we'll provide the link so that you can go in and offer your suggestions. Suggestions are anonymous, so we will not know who it is that is giving the suggestion, so you can feel comfortable in that fact and ain't nobody gonna know your business. All right. So yeah, great. So please stay abreast of what we are doing. We do our best to post what we have going on. So please keep up with us as we are continuing to do what God has commissioned us to do amidst this COVID-19 situation. So happy Juneteenth, happy 4th of July to everyone. I pray that you all had a good time, that you enjoyed the food and your loved ones. You may not have been able to do a big gathering, and some of you may have, but I hope that you enjoy your holiday nonetheless. Okay, so let's get into what it is I really desire to kind of talk to you all about. And we're going to make this quick because y'all know I don't talk too long, right? Okay. So I was thinking the other day and just thinking about this COVID-19 situation and everything that we have going on and just how uncomfortable of a situation it is. It's very inconvenient, and it has inconvenienced a lot of us in a lot of ways. Some of the things that we're used to doing, we can't do anymore. I know for me, I like to walk around the mall. Now, I don't all the time shop and buy stuff, but I like to walk around the mall and I get my steps in, right? But unfortunately, I can't do that amidst what is going on in the world and what the situation or the reality of this situation is. And so it causes me to feel frustrated, causes me to be irritated, and it causes me to get uneasy about where I am right now, where I am right now. And so it caused me to say to myself, like, I don't want to be here. And just not dealing with the COVID-19 situation all alone and all by itself. But there are other situations where I just be like, I just do not want to be here. And it's situations, and sometimes it's even being around certain people, just to be honest. You just don't want to be there around them because they're irritating or whatever the case might be. But ultimately, I think that we all have encountered a situation or a circumstance where we're just like, you know what, I just don't want to be here. And so those things make us uncomfortable, and they are what you could call inconvenient places. They make us uneasy, they make us nervous, um, and they get you, feeling a certain kind of way. So ultimately, we get in those places that we could care less about. And so often, too, with being in those situations and in those places, it causes us to be angry, have feelings of anger. And at the same time, we might deal with a bit of frustration and also depression. But I want to encourage you tonight and empower you or encourage you to know that you need to change your perspective. You will, as you continue on your journey, as you continue to rise, encounter situations where you just say, I do not want to be here. Um, you will, as you continue on through life itself, come in contact with situations, with people, with positions and places you find yourself in, not only physically, but mentally, where you wonder, what are you doing here? But I want you to begin to change your perspective as you look at the situation. Now that you are here, what are you going to do about it? Now that you find yourself in an uncomfortable place, now that you find yourself being inconvenienced or being somewhere that makes you uneasy or uncomfortable, the thing is, what are you going to do about it? The Bible talks about how the power of life and death is in your tongue. You can literally speak to the situation and those things will begin to change. I can remember at a time in my life, I was in my late teenage years, early 20s, where I had real issues with debt And I just felt like I wasn't gonna come out of here. And I had a desire not to stay there. And so what I began to do, I began to decree and to declare in my prayer. So I would pray and I would say, I decree and declare that I am debt free. I decree and declare that my credit score is increasing. I decree and declare that, different things, nothing shall by any means harm me. But the debt thing was a really big thing for me. And I really wanted a better credit score. Now, when I first began to decree and to declare those things, it didn't initially change. I looked at it and I was like, this thing ain't changing. I'm doing all this decreeing and declaring, but then nothing is changing. But as I continue to speak what it is I wanted to see, to speak how I wanted my atmosphere and my environment and my life to be, I began to slowly see the changes. And what's funny is the things that I was praying for, I had forgot that I had prayed for. And the Lord had to remind me, you remember you were decreeing and declaring this? And I'm like, oh yeah, that is right. And I was beginning to see the manifestation of the thing and didn't even realize that it was a result of the things that I spoke out of my mouth. So I encourage you, as you change your perspective about the atmosphere and the situation that you are in, to begin to speak to the mountain and it will get out of your way, right? As you begin to speak and use that power that is within you, that power that is in your tongue, that power to speak life and death, that it will cause wherever your here is to begin to change. I encourage you, don't shut your mouth. Do not shut your mouth, but begin to open your mouth and to declare what it is that God has for you and what it is that you desire. And so we often find ourselves in places or at times when we just say, I don't want to be here anymore. And I'm reminded of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane as he was getting ready to approach the cross and they were coming to get him. And I remember him praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. And he was praying, Lord, just let this cup pass. It was basically, Lord, I don't like where I am right now. I don't like this place that I'm in. I don't like this position that I'm in. I don't like this posture that I'm in. Lord, I need you to let this cup pass. So just to point this out, when you come across situations that are uncomfortable and dire for you, you need to go to God in prayer. So there are times, there's always a time that you can go to God in prayer and he will give you direction and he will give you insight and you can cast all your burdens upon the Lord. Why? Because he cares for you. So Jesus here in the garden is saying, Lord, let this cup pass. But he takes a moment and he looks at it through a different lens. He takes another perspective. And as a result, he says, you know what, Lord, because I realize that there is a greater purpose in this, because I realize that someone's deliverance is reliant on my obedience, because I realize that this thing is bigger than me, nevertheless, not my will, but thine will be done. Whatever place you are in serves a purpose. Whatever place you are in that you feel you are stagnant, like you aren't moving, realize that whatever place that you are in is fulfilling or making you ready for the purpose that God has already outlined for your life. Oftentimes we feel as if we are stagnant. We feel like we ain't going nowhere, like nothing is moving. But even though you're not moving, it doesn't mean that you're not progressing. I work as a flight attendant. I work in the airport. And there are things that we have in the airport that help people to move. We have the elevator and we have the escalator, the the moving walkway, as they say. And we do have the escalator. And on those things, when you get on them, you are literally standing still. But just because you're standing still and not moving, it does not mean that you are not progressing. what's happening is that that thing is pushing you or taking you forward or bringing you up where you need to be. So even though you might feel like you're stagnant in the place wherever your here is, for those of you who feel like you're not getting any progression, in those moments, realize that you are still, God is still moving and working in you, both the will and to do according to his good pleasure. So I want to encourage you to know that at those times where you're like, I just don't want to be here, God is still working. And that place that you're in is developing and making something in you, is developing character. Something else it does, it causes you to seek God, just like Jesus did. It causes you to seek God, and in that seeking him, you find and you get clear perspective and clear vision about what it is that God is doing and what it is your purpose is in the earth. So be encouraged, my sisters. Be encouraged, my brothers, if you are on here through our public page on Facebook or on YouTube. Be encouraged and know that in those times where you just don't want to be there, where you just don't want to be here, you just want to go into your cave and get away from people and just social distance altogether, realize in those moments that God is with you and he's working in you both the will and to do according to your good pleasure. The place that you're in is the place that he's placed you. And because he's placed you there, he will sustain you there and take you further than you've ever imagined. So be encouraged. I hope that I was able to enlighten and push somebody a little bit further along as we are pursuing our God-given dreams and our God-given destiny in this season. Be encouraged and hold on and know that God is on your side. Thank you all for watching. You all be blessed. And until later this month, looking forward to seeing you for our Vision to Manifestation Session 2, Dark Places. All right, you all take care. Bye-bye. Jesus, beautiful. Whew.